Hey y'all, it's kind of late on Tuesday night. I am filming this to catch up from this past weekend. I made this card this last weekend to do a video for Saturday Morning Makes and Two Crafters, One Design, and the spring theme, and to kind of get everybody in the mood for the little bit warmer weather. And where I live, we had some very severe weather this past weekend. We were under tornado warnings until about 3 a.m. in the morning. We lost our Wi-Fi. Never lost power, but the Wi-Fi went out and there was no way to film and get anything uploaded. So I'm catching up midweek for this past weekend. But I wanted to share this. And I think it's just a fun little bunny card. And I know Becky, I think, was doing something for some, encouraging everyone to use some vintage wooden stamps. And I love using vintage wooden stamps anyway. So this is a particular favorite one of mine that I've had for a really long time. So I pulled it out to use it. And I love the bunnies, and I love all the pastel colors. So this is the card that I made. And it's kind of simple. It's only 2 stamps, and very, I don't know, just kind of retro looking to me a little bit. So this is the card that I made, and I'll show you the stamps that I used. I only used two rubber stamps. I used this one, which is a vintage bunny tea party, and it is from Personal Stamp Exchange, PSX, and it's K1943, and it says it's from 1996, and I probably really have had it that long. It's a really old one, but it is a great, super detailed stamp, and it has the 3 little bunnies in the garden having a tea party. So I just love that. And then they also made this one, which is a little cabbage teapot with a little snail on top. I've just always loved the detail of that. And it didn't go with it, but I kind of thought it did. To me, it always looked like the 2 coordinated. Because if you see in this one, you see the little cabbage teapot in the center here. So I always thought these 2 coordinated, and the butterflies always seemed to match in the 2 rubber stamps. So I always like to use this one with it. And this is another PSX, Personal Stamp Exchange, D1944. And so that's that one. And I just think these are lovely. So these are the 2 stamps that I used to create this card. And I just stamped this image on white cardstock, and I stamped this on some old book paper. And I used Copic markers to color. And I did paper piece a couple of little things on this. I paper pieced the teapot, and I paper pieced the tablecloth because I wanted just a little bit more of a contrast that would jump off the page. And I also paper pieced the 2 large flowers and the tulip. And then if y'all can see, I added a little bit of fuzzy for their tails of the bunnies, just for a little bit of different texture. And then after I paper piece these, if you can tell, you see how there's a little bit of sparkly, a little bit of shimmer on the flowers. I just used some different liquid pearls, and I usually just take them and put them on, and then kind of take my finger and kind of smooth them around. But that's what kind of gives you the sparklies. I did some down here also, and again, I just use my finger. I just, squeeze them out and kind of rub it around. But I always think that kind of adds a little bit of different dimension to it when light hits it. And I put some of the green on the stems of the flowers behind it. And so this is the fun little thing I wanted to show for down here for this little teapot. I wanted it to actually look like it had the little tea bag coming out of the teapot. So I just took a little needle and put a little hole in this after I stamped it. And for this, I have used this stamp before, but I want to show it to y'all again. There is this old stamp set from Fun Stamper's Journey. It's a Christmas set. It's Holiday Cookies SS0679, but it comes with this teeny tiny little tag in it, and I use it all the time. It's this one right here. So I just stamped it. And then for the letters, I did not have a stamp that said T. And so I just took an old book page and I looked for the capital letters TEA and cut them out and glued them on to make the word T for my little tea bag to hang out. So that's just a little, if y'all have never thought about doing that, if you're missing words or whatever, I think that's a good little cheat if you don't always have the stamps. And for the word spring, it came from this set. It's a Recollections, which I think Michael's is who sells the Recollection stamps. That came out of here. And this is just a 146 piece stamp set with different little words in it. So that's where this came from. And I just stamped the word spring up here. So it's like a little spring tea. So the only other stuff that I wanted to show y'all, this is a Sizzix Tim Holtz, and it is like a linen tape, and you pull the back off, and I love it. It's still made. It's something you can still get. And that's what I used right here, and it's self-adhesive, and it's already old and kind of vintage looking, and so I used that. So I just think that's kind of fun. So that is this card, and y'all know me, y'all know I love simple. So those were the two main stamps on that, and then the little teeny tiny one, but if you don't have the little tag, you can just cut a little rectangle to get to that. And then I just tied some little string at the top for my bow. And I used some rectangle Sizzix dies to do these different shapes. But again, use whatever you have. You don't, always have to have the same rectangle die as someone else, or, if you don't have a rectangle die, you don't even have to do that. But I wanted to show that you could kind of take some of your older wood stamps and kind of update it a little bit and use some different colors and just add in a few little new elements. And the string that I use is just this little cotton string. It's by DMC. And I love this particular string because it hangs really softly and it'll bend. So if you're looking for some good white string, this is what I use. It's just a good cotton string. It's very easy to tie. So I did want to mention that. So that is all, y'all. That is my little spring card with the little teapot and the little bunnies in the garden. Kind of gives you a little bit of Alice in Wonderland vibes, but I always think this is so much fun because you can color the dresses different colors and just kind of let your imagination go wild. So, all right, y'all, I have another set of cards that I want to film hopefully tonight too. So I will see y'all soon.